I'm Suzie Boss. Welcome to day 2 of PBL World in Napa, California. We've just had an incredible morning with Stephen Ritz of Green Bronx Machine here for his 3rd consecutive year. Just wowed the audience, left everybody on their feet and cheering and raring to go. So Stephen has just been a finalist in the Global Teacher Prize. And I wonder if you could start by telling us a little bit about this amazing journey you've been on, starting with a local project, now on a national stage, international stage.
Yes, what an experience. So I'd like to first and foremost shout out the Barkey Foundation and Sonny Barkey for creating this incredible forum that really validates teachers' lives, because teachers matter. And the one thing, whether it's me or the 700 other participants who are here, teachers change lives. And behind every successful person, there is a teacher, whether it's an elder, a mentor, a parent, or someone who took the time to light the path and kindle somebody. So the fact that there is this global movement now celebrating teachers to really call dignity and uplift the profession, to me is just wonderful. And that I was nominated, OMG, you know, from the South Bronx to Dubai, and to think that one teacher in a bow tie putting plants in the ground and growing plants, you know, in tower gardens, can somehow get there. It was just an honor to be in the room with such esteemed change makers. Is really important. But I also think it's important to acknowledge, you know, those who are teaching in conflict zones and those who are teaching in places without the internet and, you know, under thatched roofs and in villages and in places where, you know, we don't hear from. Because those are the people who are really going to move the next generation of global citizens out of poverty and into success. And for me, that's what this is all about. But I am humbled, honored, and flattered. Every day I tell my kids that anything is possible, and to think that there I was in the sands of Dubai, bringing home the sands of time in a plastic water bottle, no less, that I found in the desert to show kids is remarkable. So thank you, Global Teacher Prize, and thank you.
Yeah, well, it's a great example of how sometimes a project can start with just a little idea. Let's just say a little seed of an idea. Right. Can you talk with teachers about kind of the courage it takes, I think, and the ability to recognize opportunities that are just maybe a little bit of a stretch? And so projects that maybe are getting started here this week at PBL World, they might grow into something big if teachers can jump on those opportunities.
Listen, embrace the moment. It's really about planting a seed. So the kids are my seeds, my idea are my seeds, and remarkably, my seeds are my seeds. And to think that we are growing something greater in the South Bronx and impacting communities across the country and around the world is simply remarkable. But it starts with management, so keep it small, keep it simple, keep it scalable. I know it sounds a little crazy coming from me, but you know, I never expected to be here. But it just, you know, with fortitude and strength and passion and perseverance, anything can happen. Okay. Anything can happen.
Okay, and so maybe you could just give us a couple of your insights from those early days when you were getting this started and you recognized, as a science teacher, the wonder of being able to help kids understand where their food comes from, how plants grow, all of that, bringing that in your classroom. What were some of those ways that you made it manageable?
Well, it's remarkable. I'm really not a science teacher. I started as a special education teacher. Everyone thinks I'm a science teacher, but I'm not. I'm not a farmer. I'm a people farmer. That said, there's a kind of, I've always said, when you teach children about nature, you teach them to nurture. And when children learn to nurture, we as a society collectively embrace our better nature. But there is something cool for little kids about putting a seed in the ground. And even big kids, and realize I started this program with, you know, overage, undercredited things. The least likely thing they want to be doing is gardening. Right. It took them back to when they were in kindergarten or in 1st grade and had that positive experience. And everything that I've done has really been a reflection of their interests, not mine. I'm just the oldest 6th grader in the classroom. I'm having a lot of fun. So it's about being authentic, and kids recognize authentic, but it's also about aligning it to what needs to be done. So if there's something that kids are genuinely curious about, and that's the beauty of project-based learning, is that it's about engagement, it's about responsibility, it's about ownership. And we as professionals and teachers need to steward that and nourish that. Remarkably for me, it happened with plants and food, and then of course learning to grow food and the whole food movement. But no, I'm not a farmer. I started this, you know, with ornamental plants, with daffodil bulbs that someone sent me, and I didn't even know what they were, and I hid them behind the radiator because I was afraid the kids were going to throw them, and the steam forced them. And in this crisis moment of class, we found 1,000 flowers behind the radiator. It was a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
So my odyssey was really then, as both an evolving educator and administrator, how do you go from being that Herculean hero teacher to someone who can create things systemically that are replicable? Because a lot of the stuff that I used to do in the past is not replicable.
Right.
And I need to be honest about that. You know, that's why I'm so much prouder of my second TED Talk than my first. My first one was like, wow, look what we did, and it's totally cool. But people watched that and said, he's crazy. I don't want to do that. So I really focused on technology that is scalable, replicable, and affordable. And that's why I love Tower Gardens, and I love this new Tower Garden Challenge we're rolling out with PBLU.
Okay.
Because you go from a box to a garden in 45 minutes if you're a man, and 20 minutes if you're a woman. Because you'll watch the video and follow instructions. And that, to me, is beautiful. But nonetheless, that's one classroom period. And it's easy, it's affordable, it's replicable, and most importantly, it's indoors. So you don't have the problems of outdoors. You don't have to deal with the custodian. You don't have to deal with the soil. You don't have to deal with growing media. And, of course, this hyper-efficient tower garden using 90% less water is really critical for teaching kids all kinds of things, to become stewards of our natural resources. But most importantly, it's right in my class. You know, the kids read to plants. I have plant police, leaf monitors, pH patrol. We have countdowns to celebrations. We have tiered seating. I have reading to plant programs. So food, for me, has become the entry to Common Core and all content area. And, of course, the Tower Garden Challenge is just going to really encourage kids to grow something greater, as well as their own intellectual capacity. So for me, growing food is also growing healthy bodies and healthy kids and healthy minds. But most importantly, I'm growing students, citizens, and school-wide school performance. And teachers love eating off it. So I'm being able to retain some of those teachers who can't get good meals in the community by growing them with kids.
Awesome.
So we're looping it all together.
Okay, so this, just so folks understand, what is this Tower Garden Challenge? So if they go to pblu.org, we'll share the link later, the exact link, but they'll go there and they'll see an outline of a plan. So can you talk us through how do they kind of make that their own? What do they do with what they find there? What might they do?
Okay, well, what's beautiful about this is literally it's almost a script that you can follow. So it sets the stage, it shows all the alignment, and it literally gives you step-by-step suggestions. But I always encourage people to do their own thing, too. It's great to have a skeleton and a guideline, but it's great to make it your own. And it compares the difference between growing on a tower garden and growing on soil. Now, there are a lot of differences you're going to find out. 1, 2, 3. I have one of the most productive soil-based gardens in all of New York City, but that's outside and it's seasonal. And indoors, I'm finding what I can do indoors aligned to Common Core and content area and real instruction and real data aggregation and collection where the kids are measuring and collecting and looking and talking and doing surveys. That's an everyday process in my class, and that's a beautiful thing.
Okay, so teachers can really take that.
You can take, there's a, for you, it's literally plug and play.
Okay, but you could go in different directions.
But you can go anywhere you want, and I encourage everybody out there to do that, you know. Follow the script or make your, listen, I'm certainly not a guy who followed the script, but I'm delighted that there is now one, and there are some constraints and some parameters that I'm working with.
Sure.
You know, 5 years ago I was doing anything and everything. But now as my work has gotten bigger, my impact has gotten bigger, my responsibilities have gotten bigger, and I want to create systemic change. I think the easiest tool in the world is this tower garden in a class, because you can do it indoors, you can do it outdoors. My kids have solar capped them, so we're talking about energy. There are all kinds of applications.
Okay, and then one maybe last question. You got a big shout out this morning in the keynote when you talked about bringing art into the STEM equation, making it STEAM, and the need for every child to experience the art.
Listen, whether it's drawing, painting, dance, choreography, debate, we need more arts. Kids respond to arts. We are human beings. You know, I like to think that we are all walking upright. And for those of us whose knuckles still scrape the ground, hopefully you'll leave pleasant trails, but you should be able to celebrate those trails. And art allows us to celebrate that. You know, kids need expression. And while I'm a very big advocate, you know, for instruction and real literacy and math-based skills, self-expression is key, because if you use that as the lens to go back at math and literacy and science and social studies, brilliant. Brilliant. So I am a big advocate for the arts. I say more arts. Absolutely deep inside Earth is this amazing thing called art, and we need to make more of it, share more of it, be more respectful of it, and use it as a lens to engage kids, because kids respond to it.
The feeding bodies and feeding souls.
Harvesting hope and cultivating minds. But this is about planting seeds and literally growing something greater. It is about the fact that every teacher matters, and that behind every successful child there is a teacher. Teachers change lives, and how cool is it that there were 2 global teachers finalists in a room? I mean, it speaks to what we understand, is that effective teachers really engage kids in projects and let them run with it. You know, the days of chalk and talk are long gone.
Well, this is exciting, and I know you inspired a whole crowded auditorium this morning, and you're going to inspire a lot more going forward with all the wonderful things you're doing. So thank you for being part of PBL World.
Well, thank you. If I can, please, if you're watching, like my kids on Facebook, and that's even part of it. You know, the art of using other things. The kids run the Facebook page, they run the website. We have a new Upworthy documentary coming out, so please look up Stephen Ritz and Green Bronx Machine on Upworthy. Like my kids on Facebook, reach out to us, and connect with us. My goal is to grow something greater, and for kids to connect around the world. We want to spread more seeds and spread less bombs, and I believe by spreading seeds, we're stopping that nightmare. So grow something greater, food's non-negotiable, and together we can all prosper. Si se puede.
Okay, thank you so much.
From hope to the Pope. Yeah, can you believe it? I still can't believe it. We go from hope to the Pope.
Incredible. What a story. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.